Tonight, the wind carries a name that no one remembers, a faint whisper lost between the trees and the stones of the old village. They say this is the hour when the veil grows thin, when the world of the living and the realm of the gentle dead meet only to exchange the silence. You walk along a narrow lane, the air cool with the scent of wood smoke and rain. Lanterns burn low in the windows, their flames trembling like thoughts half forgotten. Each house sleeps, but you sense the eyes of memory awake within them. In the distance, a bell tolls 12. Its voice moves through mist like a prayer without words. And for a moment, time pauses as if the earth itself holds its breath. You pass beneath an archway of ivy and stone, where candlelight flickers behind stained glass. The church stands patient, its doors closed, its heart still beating in the glow of a single lamp. You think of those who walked this path before, hands folded, voices lifted softly toward heaven. The night is not frightening, it is sacred. Each shadow is only the memory of light. Each gust of wind carries the echo of a blessing. Somewhere beyond the hedgerows, you hear gentle laughter, not of the living, but of spirits untroubled by death. They drift like autumn leaves, softly returning to the places they once loved. You pose, feeling neither alone nor watched, only accompanied. This is a night of gentle spirits, and you are welcome among them. So breathe, dear wanderer, let the hush of the world settle around your shoulders. Tonight, we walk together through whispering Hallows, not to fear what has passed, but to remember how softly it still loves us. The road narrows as you leave the last house behind. Cobblestones glisten beneath your feet, washed smooth by centuries of rain. The air is damp, filled with a faint perfume of wet earth and fading roses. Above, the moon hangs pale, its light veiled by drifting clouds. It spills across the old roofs, turning their thatch silver. In every window, a candle burns low, each flame a small promise against the dark. You pass a well, its stones slick with moss. A rusted bucket sways gently, though no wind moves. The sound it makes, a hollow chime, echoes into the mist like a memory calling your name. Somewhere beyond the fields, a night bird sings, not mournful, just aware. It feels as though the whole world has slowed to listen. You come to a small stone bridge, Beneath it, water moves so quietly it might be mistaken for sleep. You lean over the worn railing and catch a reflection, not entirely your own. Another face, faint as candlelight, appears beside yours in the water. A woman's, perhaps. Her eyes are kind, her smile sad but knowing. You blink and she is gone, only ripples remain. But the moment feels like greeting, not warning. You whisper softly, "Peace be with you." The water answers with a sigh that might have been, and also with you. Beyond the bridge, the path climbs toward the old churchyard. Your lantern swings from your hand, casting golden circles on the stones. You see names carved deep into weathered crosses, letters softened by time and moss. Here lie the bakers, the shepherds, the singers, their lives now folded neatly into earth like pages in a closed book. Yet tonight you feel the faint hum of their stories rising again, as if memory itself has taken a breath. A gentle wind stirs the grass, lantern light trembles, and from between the stones, shapes begin to form, not solid, not frightening, but like thoughts of mist learning to remember faces. They drift with quiet grace, their edges silvered by moonlight. One passes close to you, the air turning cool, but not cold. It feels like someone brushing past in a hallway, hurrying home. You bow your head slightly, a reflex born of reverence, not fear. For you know these are not lost souls, only travelers returning for a single night's walk. One stops beside the oldest grave, a man in tattered robes, face faint as breath on glass. He kneels, his hands tracing letters he once knew by heart. You hear him whisper, "Mother." Then silence again, the kind of silence that blesses. The air fills with faint laughter, gentle as rain on leaves. Children's voices, perhaps chasing each other through fog. You glimpse small shapes darting between the stones, echoes of joy left behind. One stops near your lantern, a small hand, pale and translucent, reaches toward the light. The flame brightens just for a heartbeat, as if recognizing an old friend. Then the hand is gone, and the mist swallows the sound of footsteps. You remain still, listening, heart beating in time with the quiet. The church bell tolls once more, soft, distant, a low voice follows, not of any human tongue, but of wind through a hollow stone. It hums a tune that feels older than sorrow, older than sleep. You find a bench beneath a weeping willow. Its branches hang low, dripping silver in moonlight. You set your lantern beside you, and breathing the scent of rain and iron. The spirits wander peacefully among the graves. Some sit beside their resting places, as if simply visiting old rooms. Others stand near one another, their mouths moving in silent conversation. You realize with a gentle ache that they are not mourning, they are remembering. And perhaps so are you, for in their calm you feel your own heart quiet. The veil between worlds thins, not to frighten, but to remind that love, once given, never truly leaves. You close your eyes. The sound of wind becomes a hymn, and as you breathe, you know this night is not about ghosts. It is about grace. The willow's curtain stirs, and a figure appears at its edge. Not sudden, not sharp, only a gradual brightening of the mist, as though moonlight has learned a shape. She stands a little apart, hands folded at her waist. Her dress is simple. The color might be gray, or only the night inside it. When she lifts her face, you see eyes like river water at dawn. Good evening, you whisper. It seems the right thing to say. Your voice does not startle the night, it joins it. She inclines her head in answer. No sound passes her lips, yet meaning arrives anyway. A hush, a warmth, a thought that feels like welcome. She touches the nearest stone, fingertips passing through moss as if through memory. A name rests there, softened by rain and time. You cannot read it fully. You do not need to. From somewhere along the wall, a small bell rings once. The sound drifts like a silver thread, slipping between the graves. Around you, the gentle ones gather. They come without footsteps. They come as breath, as dew, as the softest shape of presence. Some pause by the crosses. Some wander to the yew trees that keep the yard. A young man with a cap in his hands stops near the gate. He looks from the ironwork to the road beyond, like someone remembering errands never finished. He smiles at the folly of it, then tucks the cap beneath his arm. An elderly couple walks arm in arm. Their pace is unhurried. They do not glance at the stones. They look at the village instead. Roofs slick with moon, windows faint with flame. They nod to what they see, as though saying, "Still here." The woman beside you, the one of the river eyes, turns from the stone and lifts her hand, palm open to the air. You mirror her without thinking. Between your palms, a chill forms that is not cold, more like the cool inside a church at noon, quiet and clean. A thought enters you, not in words, in images. Sun on flower, a door half open, a branch tapping its own rhyme upon the glass. You understand. She was a baker. She linked mornings together with the warmth of bread. She does not miss the work. She loves the morning still. You lower your hand. She lowers hers. Between you, the little ceremony goes shut like a finished ribbon. Across the yard, a boy kneels to tie a string around a fallen twig. He sets the twig upright in the grass. The wind tests it. It stands. The boy grins, then fades, but the twig remains, leaning slightly toward the moon. A low door opens on the side of the church. No hinge creaks, no latch complains. The interior glows with the careful gold of 2 candles left to keep company. You rise from the bench. The willow brushes your shoulder and leaves the smallest wet mark on your coat. It shines there like a star, misplaced. Within the church, the air tastes of beeswax and stone. The nave is narrow, the pews are close. This was never a place for ceremony grand. It was a place for hands, for breath, for people who knew one another's names. A spirit sits in the 3rd pew on the left. You cannot say how you know, because he has almost no boundaries at all. Just a brightness where a person would be. A suggestion of a shoulder where the candlelight slips and gathers. You sit 2 rows behind and do not disturb the distance. You bow your head. The roof timber murmurs in the wind. On the lectern, a book lies open. The page shows a psalm whose lines have been copied and recited until the edges turn gentle. You do not read it. You listen to the space around its words. The spirit in the 3rd pew lifts his hand, not to cross himself, not to swear an oath, only to fold air between finger and thumb, as if mending a little tear in the night. You think of hymns, of themes, of the quiet art that keeps what matters from coming undone. Perhaps he was a tailor, perhaps he still is. A drift of voices arrives at the door, like wind through grain. The gentle ones have come inside. They stand beside their old places without choosing seats. No one needs a view, everyone has one. The candles burn lower, their flames bend, then steady. Somewhere in the rafters, a dove turns once in sleep. You close your eyes. The church becomes a harbor. The night becomes a tide. You rock inside it without moving at all. A whisper touches your right ear. No breath carries it. Still, you know it is meant for you. Do not fear the hour that ends. It is only a door for gentler hours to pass through. You open your eyes to find the spirit in the third pew turned half towards you. His face is almost a face now, a shadow where a cheek would be, a glimmer where an eye might laugh. Thank you, you say, though the thanks is more like a bow laid down beside a threshold. He bows in return. Two courtesies cross in the aisle like threads. The wind quiets. The bell does not ring. Even time seems content to stand at the back, hat in hand, and wait. You leave the church as gently as you entered. Outside, the graveyard gleams with dew. Every blade a small cathedral for light. The spirits are fewer now, not gone, only thinned like fog, remembering it came from river. The woman of the river eyes stands once more beneath the willow. She has gathered the night into her hands. You see it there, a fold of darkness, soft as a shawl. She wraps it around her shoulders the way the living wrap warmth. A question rises in you. It asks for nothing difficult, only for permission. Why do you return? You whisper. Why this night? Her answer is an orchard, boughs heavy with fruit at dusk, a child counting fireflies by the wall, a lamp lifted at a door that was always left unlocked. You understand again. They do not come back for the dead. They come back for the life that still tastes of them. The clouds draw aside. The moon shows its whole face, pale and grave and kind. The names on the stones brighten, not to be read, but to be blessed. You sit again on the bench. You let your lantern rest at your feet. Its light leans outward as if to greet the grass. In the lane beyond the wall, a cart rolls by with no horse to draw it. It does not rattle. It does not hurry. Something unseen keeps its wheels true. Something tender knows the way. The yew trees breathe together. Their branches write slow letters in the air. You think for a moment that you could read them if you only stood very still. The gentle ones drift nearer, not to speak, to share. They offer you invisible things that bear weight anyway, the taste of an apple, the heft of a loaf, the ache of an embrace not needed now. You accept them all. They dissolve into breath, your shoulders lightened by a measure you cannot name. A thin fog threads itself across the ground. It curls around the stones, the way cats find the spaces your feet will not claim. It is the hour when the village forgets to be awake and does not yet remember to sleep. You close your eyes. Someone sits beside you. No weight presses the bench. Still, the bench knows, and you know, and the willow knows. A story arrives. It has no beginning. It has no end. It is the part in the middle where two people pour tea and do not speak, because everything that needs saying is already steam. You open your eyes to thank whoever brought it. No one is there. The thanks stays anyway. The moon lowers a finger's breadth. The bell does not toll, yet you feel the hour turn, the way a page will turn when a breeze enters a room that has been reading you. You stand. The gentle ones draw back, not to vanish, to give you the lane. At the gate, you pause and look once more across the stone. The woman of the river eyes raises her hand. This time, you do not mirror her. You place your palm over your heart instead. The answer reaches you from everywhere at once. Wind in you, light in wax, names in moss that refuse to be lonely. Rest well, you whisper. The words do not fall. They settle as still, as blessing, as the quiet agreement that nothing beloved is ever truly gone. And with that, you turn toward the lane that leads deeper into the village, where other candles wait in other windows, and other gentle spirits keep vigil with the living. The road dips gently downhill. Leading you back toward the sleeping village. Mist coils along the hedges, turning each branch into lace. Your lantern trembles in your hand, not from wind, but from the pulse of something older than breath. A door ahead creaks open, not wide, just enough to spill a sliver of amber into the fog. You pause. Within, you hear the faint scrape of a chair being drawn across stone. Then music, thin, hesitant, fragile as a candle flame in wind. A violin, perhaps, or the memory of one. The sound goes down the lane like a sigh, returning home. You follow it. The door yields without protest, as if it has been waiting for you all along. Inside, dust floats in moonlight, a soft constellation of forgotten things. Shelves line the walls, filled with books whose pages breathe each time the wind shifts. A single candle burns upon a desk. Beside it, a man, or rather, the faintest impression of one, bowed over his violin. His hair falls across his brow like brushstrokes in smoke. Each note he plays lands softly on the air, then lingers as if unwilling to fade. You stand in the doorway, and the music continues for you. He lifts his head, though his eyes are hollow light. He nods, the gesture kind, familiar. The bow draws across the strings again, and the melody bends toward remembrance. You close your eyes. What you hear is not sadness, it is continuity, the line between what was and what remains. When the music stops, the silence that follows is whole. Was it yours? You whisper. He smiles, and the air brightens where his mouth should be. Then, slowly, he turns the violin in his hands, offering it across the space between you. The wood is cool beneath your fingers. You hold it gently, afraid the weight of being alive might be too much for it. But it hums just faintly in answer. A final note plays, without bow, without string, the kind of sound that happens only when something finds rest. When you open your eyes, the chair is empty, and the candle burns a little taller. You place the violin back where it belongs. Its shadow crosses the wall like wings folding in prayer. Outside, the lane waits. A faint wind carries the scent of cloves and smoke. You follow it down to the square where the fountain stands. The water there does not ripple, it glows softly. Within its basin, coins gleam like trapped stars. You kneel and watch your reflection drift beside another, a child's. She hums a tune that sounds familiar only to the heart. When you look at her, she smiles and points to the sky. Above, the clouds part, and the moon spills its silver over everything. Every roof, every stone, every face of the gentle dead glows softly, as if blessed by light itself. The girl places a hand upon your sleeve. It feels like cool linen. Then she fades, leaving behind only the warmth of being touched. You rise. The fountain whispers beneath its breath. The sound it makes is words you almost know. Be kind to the silence. It remembers you too. You walk the square's edge. Shutters creak. A sign swinging overhead murmurs in the wind. There, beneath an old inn signboard, a table sits with 3 chairs and 3 faint figures seated at it. They raise cups in greeting. Their laughter is the sound of rain finding roof tile. You approach. One chair remains empty, and you understand it is not a trap, but an invitation. You sit. The air smells of cider, warm and spiced. The nearest figure leans forward, his eyes twin coals of soft amber, and speaks, but the sound is not speech, it's memory. You hear a marketplace, bells at noon, the call of traders in the square, the clink of copper, the smell of bread, the weight of small joy. Then, just as swiftly, you are back beneath the inn's eaves. He nods once. That is all. Another raises her glass. A woman this time. Her hair shimmers like fog in candlelight. When she looks at you, the smell of lavender and rain fills your lungs. You understand her too. She was a healer once, a gatherer of herbs and small mercies. You drink nothing, yet feel warmth spread through your chest. Not the warmth of wine, the warmth of being remembered by strangers. They fade, their shapes thinning to mist, their laughter still tracing the air like incense. The empty chair across from you pulls itself gently under the table, as though even wood knows courtesy. A wind rises, leaves swirl down the lane, gold and crimson and ghostlight white. They gather at your feet, then drift onward toward the churchyard. You follow them, your steps quieter than rain. The village exhales, each window flickers once, then darkens. The bells are silent now. The gentle ones prepare to leave. But before they go, they pass one last time through the lanes, not to haunt, but to bless. Their touch is in the wind that smooths the curtains, their steps in the hush that follows thunder, their smiles in the glow that clings to dying candles. You feel it all as you walk, the goodbye that is not goodbye, 1,000 tiny mercies drifting home. When you reach the church again, you find the willow silvered with dew. It bends towards you as if bowing to those who kept the night. You place your hand upon its bark. It feels warm, alive. The pulse beneath your palm matches your own. The bell does not ring, the moon does not move, the moment stands whole. And somewhere beyond sight, a voice whispers, even endings are only softened beginning. You close your eyes, the night breathes with you, and the Hallows whisper on. Dawn comes skyly, not as flame, but as breath. A pale shimmer seeps through the mist, turning the village roofs to soft silver. The air smells of whetstone and ashes cooled, the kind of scent that speaks of closure. You stand by the church gate again. Your lantern, now dark, hangs by your side. There's no need for its light anymore. A faint rustle drifts from the yard. The gentle ones are gathering. They move slower now, their shapes thin as morning breath. Each of them glows faintly, not white, but the color of forgiveness. They stand in silence, looking toward the east. The clouds there blush faintly, as though heaven itself remembers being human. A single bell rings, once soft. It is not a summons, it is a benediction. The sound ripples through the graveyard, touching every stone, every name, every unfinished story. The woman with river eyes steps forward, her soul, woven of moonlight, unravels in the morning air. Each thread turns to mist, and each mist strand to light. She smiles, and you see in her face the gentleness of endings well met. She kneels before the oldest cross, her fingers tracing its moth-covered name. Then she fades, slowly, like breath released into prayer. All around you, the gentle ones follow. They bow, they turn, they lift their hands toward the light. Their shapes dissolve into air, each departure as quiet as a thought finally understood. One remains, the violinist. He stands by the willow, bow in hand. The dawn touches his outline, and for a heartbeat, he is real again. He raises the bow and draws it once across invisible strings. No sound follows, only the shimmer of light, the vibration of peace. Then he lowers the bow, presses it to his heart, and bows to you. When he straightens, his form is already gone. The willow sighs, its branches weep dew into the grass, and each drop holds a spark of sunrise. You kneel, touching one of them. It glows against your fingertip, and the warmth lingers, as if all the departed left one ember behind. The bell rings again. This time, the sound is joined by morning birds. Their song pours through open sky, pure and forgiving. The living and the lost sing together for just a moment the same hymn. You look around, the graves shimmer, the names glow faintly, like script rewritten by grace. No sorrow now, only presence. In the distance, a farmhouse chimney releases its first thin smoke. The world is waking, and yet, for a heartbeat longer, the night holds its place beside the light, as if reluctant to leave what it has left. You whisper a prayer, not from any book, but from the hollow of your heart. May they rest in peace. May we live in it. A breeze answers, lifting your hair, then softening again, the kind of touch that could be wind or blessing. You leave the gate open as you go. The cobblestones gleam beneath your steps, washed clean by dew. The village yawns awake, chimneys smoking, dogs stretching, curtains stirred by gentle hands. Life resumes, but with new patience, the kind that follows quiet miracles. You pass the fountain again. Its waters no longer glow, yet something of the light remains within its ripples. A réflexion drift beside yours, only the hint of a child's laughter echoing like rain far away. You smile because you understand now the gentle ones are never gone. They walk with the dawn. They rest in the hush between raindrops. They speak in the hush that follows Amen. You reach the edge of the village. The path widens into the field. Every blade of grass gleams. Every drop of dew reflects the world twice, once as it is, once as it is remembered. You turn once more. Behind you, the church steeple catches the rising Sunday. It glows gold. The bell does not ring again. It doesn't need to. The gentle ones have kept their promise, and now so have you. You take a breath, and the morning takes one with you. The boundary dissolves. The story ends not in shadow, but in light that knows your name. You walk on, the day opens around you, and behind your steps, the Hallows whisper softly, peace goes with you. And now, my friend, let your breath soften. Let your body grow still. The Hallows are quiet now. Their whispers drift beyond the hills into places where even dreams go to rest. You are safe. You are warm. The world is holding you just as gently as you hold this moment. There is no need to think, no need to do, only to be, only to breathe. If sleep comes, welcome it. If stillness lingers, stay within it. Both are sacred, both are peace. Somewhere beyond the edge of dawn, the gentle ones are singing. Their song is not meant to wake you, It is meant to keep you safe as you drift. May the light that watched over them watch over you. May the quiet they love wrap itself around your heart. And may this night, the whispering night, be your softest home. Good night, sleep peacefully, and let the Hallows keep their gentle watch.